We are talking about the greater good.
Hey there! Welcome to Skatz Chats, your destination for inspiration. Each episode, I chat with mental health professionals and everyday people just like you and me to talk about various wellness topics and the human experience. Get ready to feel inspired with another episode of... Hey everyone, welcome to Skatz Chats. I'm very excited to have my friend Celine here today. Now, Celine and I actually went to lunch one day and, Valentine's Day is coming up. So we started talking about it and, we both had really good thoughts and opinions on it. And I thought that it would be a great topic to, dive into more on the podcast and stuff. So, here we are, I guess. So this is going to be a fun, interesting conversation. I'm so happy to have my friend Celine on here. So Celine, welcome. Please, introduce yourself if you'd like.
Well, hey, Sarah. Thank you for having me on Skatz Chats. I'm such a fan.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I'm really happy that you asked me to come on because Valentine's Day is something that I feel like I have the unpopular opinion on. People like when they hear that you don't like Valentine's Day, they think you're a hater of love. Like, oh my God. I told my other friend group that I'm not a huge fan of Valentine's Day. And my best friend, who's been in a relationship for 6 years now, she was like, I'm going to make you love Valentine's Day. Like, don't be like that. Don't be so mean on it. I'm like, no, I don't hate love. And if you love Valentine's Day, please don't let me rain on your parade. I'm not trying to rain on your parade. It's just, I have personal opinions as to why I don't like Valentine's Day. And I shared a few of them with them. But when we had lunch, I just kept going on all my points.
I was like, dang, Celine, okay, we need to bring this to the pod, like, immediately.
Yeah, I realized that, honestly, it kind of sounded like a podcast episode when we were talking about it, because I just had one point after the other, and I realized how passionate I am about this topic. And so when you asked me, I was like, sure, I'd love to say it all again and see if anyone agrees with me or if anyone kind of sees Valentine's Day differently because of how I explained why I don't like it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that... I've already kind of heard your point, so we're going to get into it, but I think they're definitely valid. And I think that a lot of people can resonate with them. And I personally really like Valentine's Day. I kind of discovered it's like my favorite holiday. Wow. But because of, what we're going to get into, it's not just about romantic love per se. It's about love in general. Like there's so many different types of love and, that people should embrace and things like that. But, I want you to get into your points too, and say what you think and all these different things about, it's marketing and, commercial and all this different stuff. So what do you think about Valentine's Day?
Yeah. So, also a little background. I was in 2 long-term relationships, so Valentine's Day was something that I learned would give me kind of anxiety. I'm like, why do I feel this way? I should be all happy, lovey-dovey, like excited for it, as most people are. And all my life, I had seen how my dad, the tradition is he gave my mom a bouquet of roses on Valentine's Day because that's kind of how they met. He put a rose on her dash. He worked on her car. And that's how he kind of told her, hey, like, I'm into you, so that's kind of the thing. Always thought it was so adorable. And I always dreamt of having something like that on Valentine's Day. Well, then when I was in a relationship, I realized that I felt more forced to do something on Valentine's Day. And I could never think of what to get my, my ex at the time, and I knew him so well. I knew birthdays, Christmas, it was so easy to get him a gift, but Valentine's Day, I was choked. And so fast forward, now I'm single, been single for a while, and I realized I've never really liked Valentine's Day. And it's not because I don't like love, and it's not because I think it's cheesy, because a lot of people think that I'm like that, because I'm a very opinionated person, a very, not, I can see what you just don't like Valentine's Day because you're like that. No, I actually like cheesy things. I think they're cute, and I love seeing people happy about cheesy things like that. So why I don't like Valentine's Day, number one, like Sarah, you were a marketing student. I'm a marketing student in college. I can notice commercialization very easily. And every single year, it's the same commercial for Valentine's Day. You see Katie Jewelers, you see Jared, you see all the same exact thing. You see the guy buying a heart-shaped Pandora ring for his girlfriend. You know? And it's not even like creative. It's just the same thing every year. And it makes people think, oh man, like it triggers the person watching, like I have to get so-and-so a thing for Valentine's Day. Like they're forced to do it. And I think that's what kind of makes me disappointed in the holiday. Because you think about why, you know, you want to surprise someone for Valentine's Day or what you want to give them. I think it should be personal. Same like with a birthday or Christmas. So you think of personalized gifts. Like you and I went to a Tinashe concert, and for my birthday,
oh my God, so much fun.
yeah, it was amazing.
Yes.
And I didn't know you were gonna get me it, but you got me the hoodie from the concert for my birthday. And I thought that was so thoughtful because, you know, like I said I wanted it there, but I was like, oh, I'll just get online later. And you got it for my birthday. You remembered that I said I wanted that. We shared that memory together. That's a thoughtful gift, you know? But I think when it comes to Valentine's Day, all the gifts are so generic, so basic. Always the chocolates. Don't get me wrong, I love chocolate. So if you give me chocolate on Valentine's Day, love it. But it's always the chocolate.
Not going to be opposed to that for sure. I'm not going to say no.
Right. But everyone does it. The heart-shaped candies, the roses, the flowers, or jewelry, you know, or perfume, or lingerie. It's all the same thing. And that too, that's another point I'm getting on. Like, why is the guy getting all those gifts for the girl? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like those. No, I just thought about that too. That's something I didn't share with you last time. I just realized all those gifts kind of allude to one thing, you know, like allude to at the end of the night, you know, we're gonna have something like that going on.
Sex. I mean, you know, we could say it all. It's fine. Like,
right. You know,
it's not a bad word. It's a thing.
I didn't think about that last time, but that too. Like, why is that also an expectation of Valentine's Day?
Good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very telling. You know, if it's being commercialized, you go to Target, and so that too. My birthday's in January, and my mom always makes jokes about how right after Christmas, because you know when you go to Target, you see all the Christmas stuff in the dollar section, whatever. Right after Christmas, everything changes to Valentine's Day. The second it's January, so she's like, I'm always getting you heart-shaped things as little extra birthday gifts, you know, because it's always out in January. I'm like, yeah, see how fast they try to commercialize Valentine's Day? It's all just one big, like, let's just make a quick buck. Because most people want to find the cheapest, you know, most inexpensive gift for someone. Like, oh, hey, I thought of you for Valentine's Day. And it's like candies, you know, which is adorable. Thought that counts. But yeah, they all do it. Target, Walmart, like all the candies are pink now, you know? So it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that's like forced for that reason.
That's true. You know, I noticed that kind of general sense of like, you know, like Target and like department stores, they always prepare so much ahead for, you know, Halloween or Thanksgiving or whatever. Obviously that's the more like commercialized thing, but it kind of feels like, I don't know, like whenever I walk into a store and let's say they're preparing for Halloween and it's like, I don't know, the end of August, beginning of September, I feel like they're just like rushing us along to buy something, you know, to just get like prepared. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we can get into that another time, like consumer behavior, you know, because we both
marketing.
Exactly. We know that one very well. And I think, yeah, now as people grow more busy, they try to plan ahead for things. And that's why you see Halloween candies are out in August, you know, like, oh man, for Halloween candy, I won't buy it the last week of October. Christmas, people buy their Christmas gifts now in like October, November. My aunt tells me all the time, oh, you already have your gift. And I'm like, what? It's not even Thanksgiving, you know? Like, how do you, but just the idea, like, you have to buy someone something. And like, same with Valentine's Day, it's no matter what, I need to make sure that, like, if I'm a mom, I need to make sure my kids have those cute little Valentine's Day cards for their first grade class. Or, you know, I need to make sure that I buy my wife flowers. I need to make sure that too, the cliche of what people do on Valentine's Day. I used to work at an Italian restaurant. That was my first job. It was kind of like, not upscale, but like, you know, the prices were right. It was classier looking. And let me tell you, the two busiest days of the year were Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, because they had a brunch thing. And oh my gosh, I don't understand why all of West Simi Valley has to go to Viva La Pasta on Valentine's Day, but you can't even breathe in there. So I'm like, why is that romantic? You can't even hear your conversation. All you hear is clinking of glasses and food, and you know, people, the waiters like me, are running around like a chicken with their head cut off, you know, because we have to serve all these people, and people would book Valentine's Day a month in advance, you know. So my thing is, yeah, why do you feel forced to make sure on the 14th of February we're going to Viva La Pasta, you know?
That's the thing. That's the big expectation. I think that, you know, you mentioned like, you know, especially the husbands or the boyfriends or, you know, in the let's say, heterosexual, relationship that we're referring to.
Absolutely.
They feel like expected to, bring the gifts, deliver something. And I'm like a super feminist, so I'm always like, why can't the girl, like treat the guy? But that's it for another day.
No, yeah, but even to modernize what you just said, like the commercials we see on TV are the exact same heterosexual old school commercial. There's no modernization of that. I don't see a girl buying her girlfriend a bracelet at Pandora. Or I don't see, a guy getting his guy something on those commercials. And we talk about modernization and updating these commercials to be up to the consumers, but no, like it's the same thing every year, I think that's the cliche. Like you have to do the standard red and pink stuff. You have to buy a bottle of rosé. You have to put rose petals on the doorstep. You don't have to do any of that. You can do that whenever you want. And that's my other point as to why I don't love Valentine's Day. I'm a firm believer that you should show people who you love that you love them every day. That be in affirmation and little treats and goodies, or taking them out to their favorite places and what you get them, all of the above should be an everyday thing. Not it's Valentine's Day, so today I'm going to take Celine to Viva la Pasta.
And that's the other thing too that I want to kind of transition to. It's always about the significant other. It's never targeted to like your friends. Or I know we kind of talked about different types of love, right?
Yes.
And we have like, the main type of love that obviously Valentine's Day is centered around is romantic love, right? Because I was actually, doing a little bit of research, and I found on history.com, there's, a whole article about the history of Valentine's Day with St. Valentine and all that sort of stuff. But just even one of the headings in this article is Valentine's Day, a day of romance and love. So the first word there is romance. So, it started up as being, romantic love, but there's so many other types of love, like family love, friend love. We talked about pet love too. Show your pet some love. You know what I mean? Like that is an actual thing. And obviously self-love. Like I always like to buy myself flowers. I'm currently single at the moment too, and I love Valentine's Day. Like I said, it's one of my favorite holidays. But for this reason, though, it's because it's not just about romantic love. It is about all different types. Like we said, self-love, also love like with God or with the universe or whatever, higher deity that you like to believe in there. And there's love all around us. I don't think it has to be so focused on just romantic love. And that's great, if you have someone, but at the same time, I feel like people who don't have a partner tend to feel left out. And I don't think people want to do that.
And what you just said is also what we talked about when we were together, but you brought up another point, how when I say I don't like Valentine's Day, and now that I'm a single person, when people hear that, they think that you're jealous or that you're a hater, because you don't have that in your life. And I think that is why I hate saying it out loud that I hate Valentine's Day. But I also get super uncomfortable when people bring it up. I'm like, you know what? Like you act like we should all love it. I mean, I don't like that I don't love it, but I don't love it because of what you just said. Like now that I'm single, I've been single for a while now, I'm actually the happiest I've ever been. Like, why can't I celebrate that on Valentine's Day? Like last year was my first single Valentine's Day in over 3 years.
Woo.
Yeah, I know. Woo, yeah.
In a good way, like
in a good way,
self-love.
No, but that was the first Valentine's Day in a long time that I actually truly enjoyed, which was so ironic to me because I bought myself, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, I bought myself Darth Vader shaped chocolates. They were the coolest thing in the world to me. Yeah. Cool. And like that was personal for me. I loved them. I thought they were super cute. And I bought myself a milkshake at Baskin Robbins, and then I watched To All the Boys Love Before, the new one that came out that day. And I had a blast. And I also, I think in the beginning of the day, I had a picnic with one of my best friends, So I celebrated friend love and self-love all on the same day. And my mom, every year, she still gives me and my little sisters a little goodie on Valentine's Day. Something we each, all our favorite colors too. Something see they're personal and they're adorable. So there's family love. And I think like, why isn't that shown in these commercials or on, promoted? Because I think those forms of love are so special and unique that not everyone has those either. Not everyone can say that they have a mom or their mom is like that, giving them a gift when they're still in their 20s. And not everyone can say that they have a best friend who's willing to go to a park during a pandemic and, have a picnic with you. And not everyone is confident in themselves yet or loves themselves enough yet to treat themselves, to recognize that they deserve love. And I think that's what should be promoted also on Valentine's Day, that there are other forms of love. And we brought up pet love, same thing. I got my puppy last year right before Valentine's Day. And I was going through the pandemic depression and like, I just got broken up with. So bringing in a new little life in my life, she's the gem of my life now. And I realized how much joy my dog brings in my life, and that's not celebrated either. Yeah. And my dog, my family, my friends, and self-love. Yeah, I think those things need to be celebrated because don't get me wrong, romantic love is beautiful. And if you're lucky enough to have it, hat off to you. Like, I'm so happy that you can say that you have that. But, there's people in my life who they're in their 50s and they're still single. And the reason that I also hate Valentine's Day is I feel like romantic love is shoved down the throat on Valentine's Day so much that it makes other people feel bad, in the other way. Like, oh, wow, should I be doing the same thing? Like, should I be celebrating it in that way? Am I not allowed to celebrate Valentine's Day because I don't have a romantic partner? And that's so sad, like it's so sad to think that a day it's supposed to be exciting makes people feel terrible because they don't have what's the societal version of the correct Valentine's Day,
Yeah, very true. I mean, I think that obviously, like we said, there's many different forms of love, and Valentine's Day should just be a day of like celebrating every type of love and not just one small part of it.
I agree. Yeah, I think, because love is beautiful, and I think that we're on this whole train of love is love. Okay, well, what is love? You're saying that love is anything?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Exactly. Exactly.
I had to. I'm so sorry.
No, please. That was good. No, yeah, I think we need to change the dynamic of what Valentine's Day is. I mean, I know, like the origins of Saint Valentine's, because actually I am Catholic, so like I really do know this very, very well. And I love it. That is adorable. I think it's great that now we have a day dedicated to love. But there's so much more love. You even brought up like spirituality and like your relationships with God or whoever your God is. I agree. I think having God in my life, my love for him has changed my life as well. So, why can't people celebrate that? I know when I was younger, going to like church class and stuff, they would bring that up then. So why is it not brought up now as an adult? Like, if you have that kind of form of love in your life, that should be celebrated as well. Like, whatever form of love makes you happy and brings you joy, makes you want to still be on this earth, should be celebrated,
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just a lot of, in terms of the commercialization and marketing of things, needs to be modernized in our opinion. And I think just the whole concept in general, like you said, of celebrating and there's probably different types of love that we haven't even thought of in this, chat right now.
Sure.
So many other types of love that need to be celebrated, because ultimately I think that maybe once Valentine's Day might be modernized, it might be a good day for people to remember, who is around them and who's like in their tribe, I like to say, who are the people that they can lean on, and, think about the love you have with yourself, even if that's really not there a lot. Maybe you can kind of figure out that, okay, maybe this is something that I need to work on. How can I start to try to love myself, from now on, I guess, so I think that, I think that in a way, Valentine's Day can be modernized to, give people a little bit of a wake-up call, and not to say that they need to find a relationship. Obviously, that's not the direction we're going in, but just realize that, like you said, God loves you, the universe loves you, whoever you believe in loves you, and you have to love yourself too, and that will make for a great and joyous life.
Absolutely. I think that should be the goal for this year, Valentine's Day. I think whoever's listening to this, because I forget we're having a conversation here, but whoever's listening to this, whatever love that you feel like you're missing in your life, I think you should set a little goal to celebrate that missing thing that you think you don't have, but you really do. Like, if you don't think you love yourself, then on Valentine's Day this year, instead of watching everyone else do what they think they're supposed to do on Valentine's Day, your goal can be to write 3 things you love about yourself, or, treat yourself to this, whatever go see a movie by yourself, feel confident doing that. Do something for you that day. If you want to celebrate your friendship love, because that's the love that you cherish, call up your bestie. If they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whoever, then I don't know, make a new friend, go hang out with someone that who doesn't have plans already, and say, why don't we be each other's Valentine's Day this year? You're my best friend already. Let's celebrate each other. If your Valentine is your puppy, then go take your puppy to the park, you know, like do something to celebrate your favorite form of love or the love that you are most grateful for this year. Yeah, I mean, there's love everywhere. It comes from everywhere. It comes within yourself, comes from outside of you. So you should recognize it and not feel ashamed. I think that's the number one reason why I don't like Valentine's Day is it makes people feel shameful if they don't have the romantic love in their life.
Like, people shouldn't feel bad that they don't have somebody because there is a lot of love around you already.
Absolutely. Like, I love you, Sarah. I'm gonna tell you on Valentine's Day. That too.
I love you too, Celine.
Like, if we're celebrating Valentine's Day, and even if you have a partner, but you should recognize who else you love. I'm gonna text all my friends on Valentine's Day. I love you. You're my Valentine no matter what. I'm gonna have 20 Valentines. I don't care. I want to tell them all how much I love everyone this year because, you know, we've all been through a lot this past 2 years. And like, it's made me really think about who I have now and who I had before the pandemic and who has stayed, who has left. And we need to recognize those things. And even beyond that, like recently there's been a lot of death in my life, not to be all sad. So like to think like we need to tell each other we love each other all the time, not just on Valentine's Day. So everybody, whoever you love, tell them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, people come and go. There's going to be, you know, that's just kind of the reality. There's going to be people who unfortunately leave your life, but new people who come into your life also. I think that it all stems from the root of yourself. Absolutely. See yourself and your love that you can give others and see your tribe around you who give love back to you.
Yeah, and I think by us starting the conversation like this of Valentine's Day and how it's been like this forever, I feel like the more we talk about it like this or the habits that we change after this conversation, I think we can be the example to others that we don't have to all celebrate Valentine's Day the same way. We don't have to be generic and get the Pandora ring or the chocolates or the flowers. It could be a simple card to your best friend, a simple text message to your mom if she lives far away. It can be anything like that. It could be looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, you look so cute today. Look at you. Yeah. Like, I love you, you know, like just whatever it is, like be the example to others and they're going to recognize the same thing. Like, wait, why don't I do that? Or I don't have to be sad on Valentine's Day. You know, I don't have to have a Valentine. You don't have to have a Valentine. But see, when you don't have one, it sounds sad. Like, oh, you don't have a Valentine? Yeah, I don't. You know, or I'm my Valentine. Who cares? Like, you don't have to have one.
I think it can just be a day of love in general, you know? Just a day that everyone can enjoy. Do whatever the heck you want. And I love the fact that you like got a milkshake and watched a movie. I think I'm going to do that this year, actually. Like, that sounds great.
It was. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, Celine, thank you so much. You're welcome on Skatz Chats anytime to talk about any other topic. I know you're very passionate. You're a very passionate woman about things. So, yeah, I mean, you know, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. Thank you for letting me dive into one of my crazy topics that I talk about all the time. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Find out more about us at www.skatschats.com. Special thanks to NK Arts, who designed our logo, Daddy Lakis for writing and producing our theme song, Joe Papadenitz for branding photos, and our friend Abby for social media.